Good morning. I'm Elizabeth Davenport, Dean of Rockefeller Chapel. I would like to welcome you today for the 71st Annual Alumni Awards Ceremony. It's a pleasure to have you all in attendance and to welcome our newest honorees. And it's fitting that we gather here in this space, the setting of so many celebratory moments at the University of Chicago. Would you please rise for our 2012 award recipients? Please be seated.
Good morning. I'm Laura Haynes, President of the Alumni Board of Governors. Since 1941, the university has gathered to honor alumni for their achievements and service to the University of Chicago. Today, we continue this tradition with the 71st Annual Alumni Awards Ceremony. The 2012 Alumni Award recipients have used their many skills to positively influence life at the university, their professions, and society as a whole. The Alumni Board of Governors Awards Committee had the privilege and daunting task of selecting this year's honorees from hundreds of worthy candidates. Each of our awardees should feel great pride in knowing that the University of Chicago community valued their contributions and saw them as deserving of this distinction. This year's honorees include artists, activists, educators, scientists, and students, all of whom have created a significant impact in their chosen fields, improved life for the university community, and proven themselves worthy of our admiration. I'm now pleased to welcome University President Robert J. Zimmer.
Good morning and welcome. So we're gathered in Rockefeller Chapel this morning for the Annual Alumni Awards Ceremony. a special celebration to honor alumni for individual achievements, contributions to society, and commitment to the University of Chicago and its values. The Alumni Awards Ceremony itself is closely tied to the history of the University of Chicago. William Rainey Harper, the university's first president, conceived of convocation as a gathering of the entire university community. Harper understood, even in the university's very early days, that it was a complex institution and likely to become only more complex over time. He believed that such a university needed to reaffirm on a regular basis the strength and purpose that come from community, and that it needed to celebrate the unity of spirit of the university of a whole that made it much more than a simple collection of its constituent parts. Therefore, convocations, the gatherings of the university community together, became key moments of reaffirmation of the underlying unity of the university. While we do not confer degrees today as we do at other convocations, we do come together to recommit ourselves to our highest ideals: the pursuit of scholarship in an environment of open, intense, and rigorous inquiry, and the belief in the power of an education immersed in such a challenging environment. We celebrate together today the outstanding contributions and impact on society of members of our university community, and we reaffirm the lifelong commitment and relationships that we all have with the University of Chicago. When the University of Chicago was founded and the first convocation was held shortly thereafter in 1893, there were, of course, no alumni. We now graduate thousands of new alumni every year. We hope and intend that alumni leave with the capacity to analyze diverse situations with care and discipline, and that they go forward and use that ability to succeed and contribute in whatever path they choose. In fact, alumni leave our university and become leaders in every form of human endeavor. Among the award winners that we recognize today are alumni, faculty, and students whose contributions are as diverse as the university that we represent. We recognize professional career accomplishments, public service, service to the university on the part of alumni, outstanding work of our faculty, and outstanding achievements by our students. All this work reflects the highest aspirations of the University of Chicago. From Harper's time to the time that you spent on campus, to the present, the university has seen many changes. We will see many more changes in the future, but there has been and will be a crucial constancy as well. That constancy will be the enduring culture of inquiry and intellectual rigor in research and education. It has been and will continue to be manifest in different ways, but the underlying culture and the underlying values remain. To sustain that culture requires the effort of those on campus, faculty, students, staff, and administration, to foster and renew that culture through our work every day. But it is likewise essential that our alumni around the world remain passionately committed to this culture and help us preserve and enhance it as well. It is only through the combined effort and combined commitment of faculty, students, staff, and administration with alumni and friends that the university and our future students and our future alumni can achieve our highest aspirations. Through your presence here today, you are expressing your commitment to your university. I thank you for all that you do for this university and all that you will do, as I welcome you again to the 2012 Alumni Awards Ceremony.
I'm Stephanie Endy, and I'm delighted to present the Howell Murray Alumni Association Medals. This year's honorees have demonstrated leadership through their wide-ranging involvement. They are actively involved as committee members and directors of student organizations. They are bridging their passion for the arts with their academic endeavors. They serve as role models for their peers, university merit scholars, and Maroon Key Society members, and they are service-oriented human rights activists. Through their involvement, they have positively impacted the college community. We look forward to future achievements these students will contribute as alumni. Will the 2012 Howell Murray Student Medalists please rise? And I ask the audience to please hold your applause until all of the medalists have been announced. David Akinnon, Colin Bohan, Jacquina Dortch, Ian Dummett, Nicholas Duquet, Vanya Eiffel, Yusuf Khalad, Jonathan Likes, Persephone Shenming Ma, Rinalina Panumaka, Taylor Simpson, Wesley Alex Spate, Clara Spera, Stephen Sunderman, Jacqueline Trudeau, and Amy Woodruff. Please join me in again applauding these remarkable individuals. And now we begin the presentation of the 2012 Alumni Awards.
Nobel laureates, artists, beloved professors, dedicated alumni, newsmakers and history makers. For more than 70 years, the University of Chicago Alumni Association is proud to have honored many exceptional alumni. Alumni such as Luis Alvarez, winner of the Nobel Prize in Physics; Ed Asner, Emmy-winning film, television, stage, and voice actor; Katherine Dunham, groundbreaking choreographer, author, and educator; Lynn Margulis, National Medal of Science winner; David Auburn, Pulitzer Prize and Tony Award-winning playwright; and Susan Sontag, author, literary theorist, and critic. These are just a few of the many alumni leaders the University of Chicago has celebrated since it was founded more than a century ago. Today, we welcome you here to continue this rich tradition of acknowledging graduates and thanking them for significant contributions to the university and to the world. Their discoveries and accomplishments shape our lives today and the futures of those who follow.
Congratulations to all of the other award recipients out there. You guys obviously did an excellent job, and you deserve this award. And I would just say, thank you to the University of Chicago.
The fact that I'm one of many award winners of such incredible note and accomplishment is almost embarrassing, because so many of the people have achieved in so many different ways, especially intellectually, I'm in awe of the people who receive the other awards, but it's very special.
I feel about having been an award winner in an incredibly accomplished group of people who had all done amazing things, really the way I feel about being part of the University of Chicago alumni body in general. It's amazing to me how many remarkable people with such great accomplishments, doing such fascinating things, and I feel lucky, so lucky to have been a part of it.
Today, the Alumni Board of Governors presents a new class of honorees to induct into this remarkable group. We salute these individuals for all they have achieved. They inspire us all toward excellence in our own lives.
I could definitely say today as a fourth year that I'm leaving the university as a much more confident student, and I feel absolutely ready to tackle the world because of my experiences here at the University of Chicago.
Good morning, everyone. My name is Damon Cates, and I have the distinct privilege of introducing this year's Alumni Service Awards. As Executive Director of the university's Alumni Association, I'm continually impressed by our alumni. Today, we congratulate and recognize a select few for their service. We are grateful for their dedication to improving student life, supporting the university, and creating and sustaining opportunities for alumni to connect. These individuals have chosen not only to stay engaged with the university, but to make it a more vibrant community. Members of the Alumni Board of Governors will now present the 2012 Alumni Awards.
My name is John Davey. The Young Alumni Service Award honors outstanding volunteer service to the university by individuals aged 35 or less, or younger. This year, we award 2 alumni who have made significant contributions to the alumni community by developing new ways for alumni to get involved with their class, their region, and across other interests. The 2012 Young Alumni Service Awards go to George Anesi and Tobias Schweitzer. George, would you please come forward? George's contributions include helping to found and co-chair the first 2006 class council and serving as co-chair for his 5th reunion committee. George took part in these leadership roles, among others, while also completing a highly demanding medical school degree. It's my privilege to present George with the Young Alumni Service Award.
I'd like to quickly thank Benjamin Walsh, who's been kind of my partner in the alumni work that we've done over the last 6 years. And it started with our senior class gift, which Ben chaired, and out of that emerged a group of about 20 extremely dedicated young alumni from the class of 2006 who have become leaders throughout the country. And they know who they are, and it's been an absolute privilege working with them. Thank you.
Good morning. My name is Max Lightman, and I'm honored to present our next Young Alumni Service Award to a fellow member of my college class, the class of 1999, Tobias Schweitzer. Tobias, would you please come forward? A major in the United States Air Force, Tobias created the Chicago Alumni Club of Chile while stationed there. Today, the link between Chicago and its Chilean alumni has never been stronger. In addition, Tobias is also responsible for spearheading the creation of the Military Affinity Group. I'm pleased to present Tobias with the Young Alumni Service Award.
Thank you,
Max, appreciate it. And President Zimmer, thank you so much. I know you remember a few years ago when you came down to Santiago and the amazing reception we had for you and for the Alumni Award that you gave out at the time. I want to thank my wife and my two children as a father of two young children and a military officer. I have no free time, but my wife is very patient, because she believes in what we're doing here at the university. I also want to thank the Alumni Association and all the wonderful, talented, very optimistic people who make our efforts possible and support us. So thank you very much.
Good morning. I'm Eva Lichtenberg, and it is my pleasure to present the Alumni Service Awards along with the fellow committee member, Judith Stein. The three individuals being honored this year have provided countless hours of service to the university through their work with class reunions, affinity groups, and alumni clubs. Their commitment to alumni in their regions and classes has served to strengthen the university ties and build lasting bridges. The Alumni Service Awards go to Jeff Rasley, Agnes Roach, and Matthew Whitaker. Jeff Rasley, would you please come forward? As an alumnus, Jeff has served the university in a variety of capacities. He has chaired both the Indianapolis Club and his 35th Class Reunion Committee, and is a former member of the Alumni Board of Governors. He and his wife, Alicia, also established the Rasley International Research Summer Scholarship to support student research in Europe and Asia. Having started the BASA project to help a village in Nepal, his service extends beyond the university. Congratulations, Jeff, on this highly deserved honor.
When I went home after my first year at the college, it felt very strange. My friends and neighbors wanted to talk about the most quotidian things, the weather, sports, local gossip. I wanted to talk about Plato, Aristotle, Marx, Freud, Shakespeare. I was no longer comfortable in the ordinary world of conventional wisdom. I had come to love the life of the mind. And I felt like the university had given me a great gift to join this community of scholars and educated persons. My time in the college was the best time of my life. The cultural opportunities in this city are incredible. The scintillating intellectual vibrancy in the classroom and just among my fellow students was wonderful. And there was the occasional wild and crazy beer party at the Cy-U house, and staying up until 2 a.m. at Jimmy's drinking Guinness and deeply exploring those deep issues about the meaning of life. And where else could one such as me play on the football team and only go to practice 2 or 3 times a week because my Attic Greek class on Plato's Symposium conflicted with football practice, and I would much rather have gone to Plato's Symposium than practice football. Best of all, I met my wife right across the street on the lawn of Woodward Court. We had our very first date here in Rocky Chapel in that pew. I took her to Everyman, a medieval morality play. Quite the young Lothario. So, after graduation, I was asked to join the Order of the Sea board. I said yes. I was asked to join the Alumni Schools Committee. I said yes. Now, I haven't said yes to every mailer for money that I get from the university. If I did, I think I'd be bankrupt. But we should give financially at least once or twice every year. But there are many other ways to serve. The Alumni Schools Committee, your reunion committee, your local alumni club, your reunion committee. And if you don't have an alumni club, start one. Continue to wave the flag of old Chicago. Thank you. Thank you, ABC.
It is my privilege to present our next two Alumni Service Awards. Agnes Roach, would you please come forward? Agnes has involved alumni with the university in many important ways. First, she has always provided a model of leadership by example for volunteers. Secondly, she has brought about innovation in women's alumni organizations that were, at the time, new and untried. Together with her female colleagues, she played a key role in founding the UC Business School Women's Group, and later the Chicago Women's Alliance. Agnes is currently president of the CWA, which is already known for its high-profile speaker series and networking events for professional women affiliated with the university. I am delighted to present Agnes Roach with the Alumni Service Award.
Good morning. This is a wonderful honor, and I want to thank the university, President Zimmer, the Alumni Board of Governors, and the Alumni Office. Thomas Edison said, "Opportunity is missed by most people because it is dressed in overalls and looks like work." Luckily, I and a number of other women seized the opportunity and did the work to found the University of Chicago Women's Business Group in 1980 and the Chicago Women's Alliance in 2007. I want to thank my co-chair for the University of Chicago Women's Business Group, Joanne Hintz, and all the women who have served on the board and on the committees since then. I also want to thank all the women who have served on the board of the Chicago Women's Alliance, and particularly my original co-chair, Pamela Peterson. We who organize alumni groups are entrepreneurs of a different stripe because we measure our profits in the friends we make for ourselves and the university as we pursue our goal of intellectual growth. Thank you so much.
Matthew Whitaker, would you please come forward? Described by nominators as an exemplary leader and representative of the best of our alma mater, Matt makes a difference in the lives of his fellow alumni. Through his cultivation and development of new leadership and new volunteers, the Washington, D.C. Club continues to thrive. As past president of the D.C. Club, a leader of the monthly Entrepreneurship Advisory Group, and steering committee member of the Volunteer Caucus, Matt has served powerfully and effectively in many pan-university roles. It is now my pleasure to present Matt Whitaker with the Alumni Service Award.
Thank you so much for this honor. I want to especially thank Laura Donovan, who really sets the standard for alumni service. She's been a great cheerleader for Washington, D.C., and for me in particular. In Washington, D.C., we've really focused on breaking down the barriers between the various alumni clubs and the university alumni group as a whole. When I graduated, I felt a very strong tie to the business school, but maybe not so much to the university as a whole. I'm now in my 11th year of running a monthly booth discussion about entrepreneurship that has very substantial participation from graduates of all parts of the university: the college, the medical school, the law school, the Harris School, the lab school, and even some parents. And I plan to keep up this kind of service for many more years. Thank you so much.
Hello, my name is Grzina Keeley. The Public Service Award honors those who have contributed to building a better society through leadership and service. This award recognizes individuals whose achievements have expanded the ideas of what is possible through a range of diverse experiences. We award the 2012 Public Service Awards to Enrique Beckman, Patrick Conway, John Jack Markowski, and Eric Rosenthal. Enrique, would you please come forward? Dr. Beckman is committed to community health care in underserved communities in Chicago. First at Michael Reese and now at Metro South Medical Center, he is recognized for his tireless efforts to bring together doctors, state officials, and business leaders to provide quality medical care in low-income areas. Dr. Beckman is also recognized for the encouragement he gives his peers and employees to continue their education and to reach out to their communities. The University of Chicago is proud to recognize Enrique Beckman with a Public Service Award.
Good morning. President Zimmer, Alumni Board officers and members, fellow award recipients, ladies and gentlemen. I would like to thank the Alumni Board of Governors for giving me the Public Service Award and thus conferring upon me great honor and joy. I'm very grateful to Betsy, my dear wife of 35 years, for nominating me and doing everything that was required for the nomination and keeping all of this a secret. I only found out about this when I was pleasantly surprised by a phone call from the Alumni Board of Governors announcing that I had been selected. Thank you to my business partner, Jim Abrams, my colleague and fellow Michael Reese warrior, Dr. Louis Blumenthal, my business partner, Leif Selcraig, my longtime associate and chief nursing officer, Linda St. Julian, and my former chief resident, Dr. Amin Wahid, for taking the time to write the letters, and especially for their generous words and kind acknowledgement of my contributions to the preservation of two great Chicago medical institutions, Michael Reese Hospital and Metro South Medical Center, the former St. Francis Hospital in Blue Island. Thanks to University of Chicago professors Martin Swerdlow for his guidance, encouragement, and support, and for frequently quoting G.K. Chesterton in saying, "Anything worth doing is worth doing badly," thus enabling me to repeatedly defy near impossible odds without fearing failure. Professor Donald Rowley for supporting me through critical points during my graduate research. Professor Godfrey Getz for providing me with guidance and grant support. Professor Aaron Moscona for inspiring lectures, which opened the world of molecular biology and kindled the flame of scientific research in me. Deep gratitude and love to my father, Jorge, who taught me the value of ideas and intellectual pursuit. To my mother, Renata, who lovingly taught me the value of hard work, persistence, and tenacity. And to my teachers of Lycée Français Louis Pasteur of Bogota, Colombia, who taught me critical thinking and rhetoric. Lastly, I want to thank the thousands of employees, nurses, doctors, patients, families, community leaders, and business partners associated with Michael Reese and Metro South Medical Center who continue to make what I do possible and worthwhile. Thank you very much.
Jack Markowski, would you please come forward? John, or Jack, exemplifies the highest standard of public service. He has an understanding of the needs and interests of urban communities and has brought a practical, committed approach to the city of Chicago. He is a highly regarded leader in addressing one of today's thorniest urban issues, affordable housing for all people. John's leadership of the Community Investment Corporation in Chicago contributed to the organization recently being awarded a 2012 MacArthur Award for Creative and Effective Institutions. Jack, we are honored to present you with this Public Service Award.
Thank you very much. Thank you, Regina, for that nice introduction. I wanted to say to all of you that I too am surprised and humbled, as many are here, by these acknowledgement of our work, and I appreciate that very much. In general, I would say my Hyde Park and the university presented me with a challenging, humbling, and energizing environment that benefited me well here, provided a very strong foundation for my future career in housing and community development. And with others, many others here as well, it also provided me with the opportunity to meet my future wife, Pat Sharkey, who has shared these many adventures with me. So thank you very much.
Hello, I am Joan Spurl. Patrick Conway, would you please come forward? Pat Conway is widely known for award-winning craft beers and visionary leadership in triple bottom line practices, attentive to planet, people, and prosperity. His business, Great Lakes Brewing Company, has initiated the revitalization of a core Cleveland neighborhood, a vibrant local food movement, and the Burning River Festival, one of the region's largest sustainability festivals, supporting a healthy regional water supply through education and financial support. On behalf of the alumni, especially us proud Clevelanders, Pat, we are pleased to honor you with the Public Service Award.
Thanks, Joan, and thank you for the university. We are truly humbled by the award. Also, thank you to my wife, Jean, my daughter, Therese, and my son, Emmett, and to Dr. Jacob Getzels and Dr. Ann Carr, who are two professors I had back decades ago, and they were truly inspirational and made me a better person. I also want to say thank you to my brother Dan, who's my partner, and our staff. We hire for attitude and train for skill, so if it hadn't been for the staff, we wouldn't be the award-winning brewery we are. John D. Rockefeller was from Cleveland, and rumor was that they almost built this university in Cleveland, and but then I might not have met my wife. So, back in the 1870s, to the turn of the century up through 1920s, it was the apex of the brewing industry. It was an important part of the fabric of a community, like a sports team, the politics, or newspapers, local breweries. Prohibition came along, and it was hard to stay in business when the government outlaws your product. And then by the 70s, we went through the terminal case of the Blands, Wonder Bread, fizzy beer, jug wine called Chablis, coffee out of a can. And thankfully, we are on the forefront of the movement to change that and have a pendulum swing to a more interesting culture with more interesting products. We're also proud of the fact that we tried to change the paradigm of take, make, waste to take, make, remake. It's a more sustainable, commonsensical way to operate your business, your home, or your school. So we have been doing that for decades, and we've given our customer base another reason to support our company. Lastly, over on the quad, there is a beer tent, and we've donated voluminous amounts of product for you. But next to our award-winning beers are these Sumerian beer vessels that we have created with the Oriental Institute. We are trying to replicate beer from 5,000 years ago, and we're trying to eschew any 21st century technology. We want to replicate it as close as we can, and the people who are the most excited about it, I think, are the archaeologists. And I was explaining the project to a person yesterday, and she looked at me and she said, "That's really true Chicago." And so it is. Thank you very much.
My name is Jeff Schwimmer. Eric Rosenthal, would you please come forward? As founder and executive director of Mental Disability Rights International, Mr. Rosenthal's life ambition has been to improve the lives and treatment available to people with disabilities. He is a voice for the voiceless and is someone who exemplifies the University of Chicago ideal of never ceasing to ask the hard questions. He has dedicated himself to nurturing and training a generation of activists in every country he visits, and the global nature of his work on behalf of those with disabilities serves as a model to others. I am pleased to present you with the Public Service Award.
Well, thank you for those kind words and for giving me this award. As I look out to this beautiful place and this awesome setting, my mind can't help going to the less beautiful and less awesome places that my work has taken me, into the squalid psychiatric hospitals and nursing homes of the world where people with disabilities are placed, to the orphanages, often clean but always bleak, where children with disabilities grow up without a hope of ever having a mother or father, a family, or being part of the world. My organization, Disability Rights International, is working for the day when no child is taken away from their parents because of a disability. It is a human rights violation, and we will live to see the day when it is stopped. I'm very proud to say I participated with the United Nations in helping to draft a new UN treaty to protect the rights of all people with disabilities. President Obama signed that treaty and last week transmitted it to the US Senate for ratification. Senator Dick Durbin and Senator McCain are the champions of the treaty, and we're very close to getting the votes, to putting the United States on the map in the world community to say no more segregation of people with disabilities from our society. When I got this award, I immediately thought back to my classes at the University of Chicago, and there is one professor who stands out, who sadly recently deceased, but he was a good man and an inspiring professor who introduced me to these very principles, and I wanted to dedicate this award to the memory of Professor Harold Richmond. I'm very touched that his wife Marlene is here today. Thank you.
am Katrina Vidal, and it is my pleasure to introduce the 2012 Professional Achievement Awards. Today we honor 5 individuals whose work in law, technology, art, medicine, and science have changed their professions and added significantly to the advancement of those fields. The accomplishments of this year's Professional Achievement awardees are varied and impressive. The honorees are Muriel Lezak, Anthony Trozzolo, Robert Bork, Adele Goldberg, and Wolf Kahn. Muriel Lezak, will you please come forward? Muriel Lezak is widely recognized as a pioneer in the field of neuropsychology. As one of her supporters stated, she is a model of how a single person can have a significant impact on a field of study with an unparalleled ability to express her ideas in ways such that the new ideas frequently are incorporated into the field and become the old ideas. She is widely recognized for having written Neuropsychological Assessment, currently in its 5th edition. We honor Dr. Lezak not only for her academic accomplishments, but also for a career dedicated to mentoring colleagues and students around the world, and for her many volunteer commitments to her profession. As a fellow Oregonian and a family friend, I am thrilled to present Muriel Lezak with a Professional Achievement Award.
The university played an important formative role for me. Oops, that'll do it. But I would not be here but for my husband, Sidney Lezak. In 1949 and in the 50s, nice young mothers didn't go to school, right? We stayed home, we baked cookies and did things. My children were wonderful. I got bored and I had a most supportive, encouraging husband who enabled me to complete my education and continue my career through all of those years that many women were just beginning to find their voice. And he was way ahead of his time. He graduated from the college in 46, got his JD from the law school in 49, and the same day I got my master's, and the next week we went to Portland, Oregon. He was U.S. Attorney for the Federal District of Oregon for 21 years, and then after he resigned, for some good reasons, he didn't want to do the drug wars over again in the Reagan administration. He brought mediation to Oregon and is fondly remembered by the bar and our many, many friends. He was absolutely instrumental in my being able to have a very exciting, wonderful career. So I wanted you to know about him. Thank you.
Anthony Trozzolo is not able to be here today because of illness. Professor Trozzolo is one of the foremost pioneers in organic chemistry and helped establish the field of photochemistry. His research has focused on the interaction of light and molecules, especially molecules that absorb light and become reactive or fluorescent. His work on creation and detection of reactive intermediates is in use today, from forensic analysis to glow-in-the-dark ink and laser technology. Anthony Trozzolo sent these words which he wanted to have spoken on his behalf. Thank you, Alumni Board of Governors, for bestowing this honor and for the nomination. I also want to thank my late wife, who I met at the University of Chicago and married for 55 years, for her support throughout graduate school. She would have been sorry to miss this.
Hello, my name is Samuel Cohen Solal. While 4 of our Professional Achievement Awards were not able to be with us today, we honor them now. Judge Robert Bork served on the Court of Appeal for the District of Columbia. As Solicitor General of the United States, and after leaving the bench, as Fellow of the American Enterprise Institute and the Hudson Institute. His writing changed the way the courts apply antitrust law to incorporate consideration of the law's impact on the consumer. As one supporter wrote, Judge Bork is a vintage University of Chicago product. Fearless, committed to finding the truth, and cheerfully taking on whatever intellectual fads he believes stand in his way. Judge Bork has to share the following words with you on this occasion. Having gone to Chicago was one of the great experiences of my life. I was exposed to a faculty and student body who taught and learned as much outside the classroom as in. Congratulations again to Judge Bork.
Hello, my name is Herb Kaplan. Adele Goldberg is a technological visionary, entrepreneur, and industry leader. Dr. Goldberg's research in computer science contributed greatly to the invention of personal computing and the worldwide revolution this created. Her collaborator, Turing Award winner Alan Kay, called her one of the few scientists I've ever worked with who could combine deep understanding of many fields beside the one she got her PhD in. The University of Chicago honors this visionary with the Professional Achievement Award. It is my pleasure to recognize Dr. Goldberg for her many accomplishments. For the past half-century, Wolf Kahn has pursued his passion and achieved success and recognition as a distinguished painter of landscapes and natural scenes. His paintings are in the collections of the Museum of Modern Art, Smithsonian American Art Museum, National Academy of Design, and displayed in many other museums across the country. Mr. Kahn has opened up his New York studio to University of Chicago students, where he has shared his perspective on his art with this new generation. For his outstanding accomplishments as an artist and his living embodiment of the values and ideals of the University of Chicago, Wolf Kahn is given the Professional Achievement Award. Mr. Kahn has expressed his gratitude for the award and his inability to be here today. Thank you.
Hello, my name is Amy Gardner. The Norman McLean Award carries the name of a beloved professor of English who came to the University of Chicago for graduate school and remained for his entire professional career. This award recognizes outstanding teaching in the university by senior faculty members. Today we honor 2 distinguished faculty members. Former students will now share their reflections on this year's Norman McLean Award recipients. Charles Bidwell, William Claude Rivas Professor Emeritus of Sociology, and his former student, Sarah Stolinga.
Good morning. It's truly an honor to be here to present this award today. While it's difficult to fit the essence of Charles Bidwell's excellence into just a few words, into just a few moments, I'm going to summarize his approach to his work as an academic as this: excellence in scholarship, devotion to teaching and mentoring, and humility and integrity. Many have acknowledged Charles Bidwell's excellence in scholarship and his contributions to the academic field of sociology. He has several seminal works in sociology of education that are widely cited, and he received a Distinguished Career Award from the American Education Association, Research Association for those contributions. His dispositions as a colleague and a mentor and a friend and a teacher are less publicly recognized. I once asked Charles about the scholars that he most admired, and he pointed to someone called Robert Redfield as a model academic. When I asked him what that meant, he responded, he was concerned for his students and he was modest. Despite his excellence in scholarship, his amazing ability to mentor, to teach, and to inspire, Charles Bidwell is among the most humble and kind people I have ever met. He has influenced the lives of so many, not only through his work, but through the values and integrity that he brings to everything he has done in his amazing career. Charles, you have set a standard of excellence in scholarship, in teaching, in mentoring with integrity and humility that all you have touched will aspire to emulate throughout the rest of their careers. And so, on behalf of the countless students who have been molded and inspired as I have, it is my distinct pleasure to award the Norman McLean Faculty Award to Charles E. Bidwell.
Thank you all. When I received the telephone call notifying me of this award, I think I primarily stammered and stumbled in my response, and perhaps you now can understand why. I'm really deeply honored, profoundly honored by this award for several reasons, all of them positive, all of them very intimately engaged in my personal and professional life. Let me mention simply two, one of which is quite sentimental. As you may have noticed in the program, I'm what my son calls a lifer. My degrees are from Chicago. Most of my career has been spent at Chicago. And among other things, as a graduate student, I always had my hair cut in the barber shop in the basement of the Reynolds Club. Well, it happened on most occasions that Norman McLean had his hair cut in the barber shop in the basement of the Reynolds Club on the same day and at the same hour, and usually in the adjoining chair. And I have such fond and happy memories of many, many afternoons, large chunks of them, in a sense it seemed, sitting next to Norman McLean, discussing with him and often with our two barbers the state of the world and the direction it might take. These discussions tended to be both depressing and engaging. The other reason that I want to mention is simple, I think, and apparent to those of us who know the University of Chicago so well. A very dear colleague of mine for many years in sociology here, James Coleman, liked to say that being at Chicago magnified one's work. Whence that magnification? Well, partly from colleagues like Coleman, who stimulated and encouraged. But no less important were our students, this extraordinary community of people already so dedicated to scholarship, so dedicated to inquiry, so demanding. They brought out the very best, elicited the very best in one. And one's very best, I'm happy to learn, did add some value to all of the intellectual and personal riches that they brought to their incipient careers. So thank you all, students, very much. Thank you very much, Sarah.
Dolores Doty Norton, Samuel Deutsch Professor Emerita, Social Service Administration, and former students Phyllis West and Bernard Dime.
Good morning. When I started the PhD program at SSA, I was overwhelmed and in search of a mentor. As a scholar, I was in awe of Doty. I admired her dedication to the families she studied and envied the students who worked with her. These students not only received applied research training skills, but they were privileged to observe the very substance of her character. I wanted to be near this professor who possessed a quiet, gentle strength and carried herself with such dignity and grace. Doty chaired my dissertation committee, and I became her last student to complete the PhD at SSA before her retirement. I knew working with her would improve the quality of my research, but I did not know it would forever change my career path. Thank you, Doty, for planting the seed of grace. Because of you, I am inspired to train the next generation of social workers.
For some, being a teacher is something one learns and does. For Doty, however, being a teacher is who she is. Doty has an understated brilliance, warmth, and compassion that makes students want to learn. When learning of this honor, Doty said in her usual self-deprecating manner, "They shouldn't be making such a big deal. After all, isn't this what a teacher is supposed to do?" That may be the case, Doty, but this is what you were born to do. I consider myself very lucky to have been blessed with the gift of your wisdom and friendship. Doty, congratulations on receiving the Norman McLean Faculty Award.
Thank you, Phyllis and Bernie, for your overly generous remarks. I very much appreciate it. I accept this award with awe and honor that it should come to me. But I must give credit to where it belongs. And the credit primarily belongs to the wonderful graduate students who come to the University of Chicago. Their brilliant minds impel them to ask different questions about our society. Their creative real-life experiences using new technologies and seeking for possible solutions bring change and the beginning of implementation toward potential solutions based on reality. They ask the difficult questions that push you to go further and to learn more. So my graduate students really have enriched and contributed immeasurably to my research, to my teaching, and to my thinking. At all levels, they too share this award. Thank you.
Good morning. My name is Karen Hyman. It is my great honor and personal pleasure to present the Alumni Medal to Leon Botstein. Dr. Leon Botstein, will you please come forward? The Alumni Medal represents the highest honor granted by the Alumni Association and the University of Chicago. It recognizes achievement of an exceptional nature in any field covering an entire lifetime. Dr. Botstein has created new programs and founded innovative schools that have brought liberal arts education into every corner of the globe. Beyond mere geography, this expansion has extended to new populations such as younger students, elderly students, and often ignored prison and rural communities. In addition to his many accomplishments in education, he is the director and principal conductor of 2 orchestras. One of President Botstein's nominators noted that he, and I quote, doesn't know of anyone who has taken more chances that have paid off, who has thought so deeply and accomplished so much from the position of the presidency of a college, end quote. This writer also noted that he believed that Dr. Botstein gained his ability to be an intellectual rebel during his time in the college, and went on to say that no one is kinder to anyone in need, no one is tougher in defense of important principles. We are proud to present the 2012 Alumni Medal to Dr. Leon Botstein.
First of all, let me thank President Zimmer and the Board of Governors and anyone who was remotely involved in making this happen. It's dangerous to give a microphone to a college president, and it's particularly dangerous to give an award to a college president because we actually give them out ourselves. So you're on both sides of it. And one can get very cynical, but I want to say that I'm deeply grateful to the university, and I want to particularly congratulate all the other award winners. When I was an undergraduate, I got one of the Howell Murray Award winners, so the little thing that's hanging around your neck, my mother was a great pioneering physician. She was not a sentimental woman, but she hung that medal over a picture in the dining room until the day she died, which was only last year at the age of 98. And my children wanted to know what it was. I'd completely forgotten about it. It had sort of blended into the woodwork. So it has some utility. It will remind your mother, all your mothers, that you exist and that you're worthy. I want to say to all of you who've come here today that nostalgia is an extremely dangerous thing. I don't actually think, and I don't wish on any of you, that your undergraduate years should have been the best years of your life. This is a tragic event because the ratio between the undergraduate years and the rest of your life is asymmetrical in favor of the rest of your life. So college education needs to be measured into the extent to which it has made the rest of your life very much better, and that you owe the beginning of that better life to the 4 years in college, or 3 years in college, or in Wolf Kahn's case, 1 year in college, or some PhD recipients, 5 days in college. I think Hutchins was undone by the arrogance of his own radicalism. He should have stopped while he was ahead. In any event, The significant thing about the university for me is that indeed I owe anything that I've been able to do to it. As a 16-year-old, I came here, and it was in this university that people who were not my parents or my relatives took me seriously for no apparent reason. When I look back at the arrogant, puerile, pretentious person that I was amazed that anyone would pay attention to me. And for that reason, I'm the only recipient who cannot claim to have acquired his wife or husband in this institution. It took me much longer on that front, and I thought all my classmates showed very good judgment in staying away. But the truth is that when I look and stumble on things that I did then, I'm embarrassed. And as a teacher now, I'm reminded that my obligation is to be as kind and as generous and as non-condescending as the teachers who taught me here were to me. To see in the haze of adolescence talent, possibility, and to build the self-confidence without demeaning the standards or reducing those standards. My debt of gratitude is therefore to the teachers, and they include Wilhelm Christian Machauer, Gerhard Meyer, Howard Brown, the great musicologist, Hannah Gray, who never taught me, but somehow helped me out to find teachers who would help me, to Colin Slim, to Richard Wernick, to Leonard Meyer, members of the music department here in those days, which was in a little building just down the street. I owe a debt of gratitude to Ed Levy, whose wry attitude to me taught me a great deal and, in fact, inspired me to wear a bow tie. As I said, nostalgia is an extremely dangerous business because it's the prism by which we don't like what is today and imagine what it was better. I was an immigrant child, and we were not subject to nostalgia. I'm always suspicious. The grand old days. Well, for those of us who survived and fled fascism in Europe, somehow looking at the 1920s with nostalgic sort of euphoria was misplaced. And when I look at films, especially of the 18th century, and people identify themselves with the hero and heroine, I realize that if I had been alive then, I wouldn't even be close to what was being filmed. That is to say, non-existent. So nostalgia is a dangerous way to operate in the current world. But Vladimir Nabokov, the great writer, understood very well that we live with varying levels of time. And walking around this university for the first time in many years, those multiple levels of time interact. There are three that I want to talk about just briefly. One is what you see now, then what you remember, and then what you remembered then, what the past must have been like. I remember as a 16 and 17-year-old wandering around the campus and thinking, who were the people that had preceded me? Who were the people whose plaques or portraits, the forbidding portraits in Hutchinson Commons, some plaque with a bas-relief of a man named Ryerson, the names on the buildings, who were they? Why did this thing look in this neo-Gothic sort of monstrous architecture? Whose idea was it? And for what purpose? And that midway, and this chapel with its hand-driven carillon. So the curiosity about a past that you could only imagine as you walked around. So let me say the first. The university has never looked more beautiful. And I think President Zimmer and his predecessors should be given an enormous debt of gratitude, particularly President Levy, and in rescuing the university as a physical place. The facilities are better. My one stint here as a visiting faculty member in the music department during Hugo Sonnenshine's tenure reminded me that I think probably the university does a much better job with its undergraduates, although, if I may be in a moment of nostalgia, there are probably a few too many for my taste. But nonetheless, they probably do a much better job than was done with us. We really thrived in an atmosphere of benign neglect. And the teachers, particularly one very important person who made a big difference in my life, Hannah Arendt, really, she looked at us the way she looked at graduate students in the Committee on Social Thought, where she taught. So the university today is a fantastic place, and it has grown and thrived as it should. To my own nostalgia, the second level of memory, I did come away with the belief that this university stood for several things for which I hope it will continue to stand. Number one, that ideas actually matter. And the ideas are not only practical ones. One of the students said the last time he was in Rockefeller Chapel was to see Bill Gates. I think John D. Rockefeller would have been troubled. Not that he didn't enjoy making money. The last time I remember being in Rockefeller Chapel is that I had the honor of reading the Old Testament lesson when Paul Tillich preached. Now, I make that contrast simply to say that ideas that seem pointless, useless, and irrelevant are at the essence of innovation. They are the essence of what makes the world better, whether it's economic or ethical. The university is not about being a business. The university is not about being a machine. The university is not about efficiency. It's about inefficiency. It's about wasted time. It's about the contemplative life. And that contemplative life is not a source of fear. It's not philosophers who are a drain on the federal budget. It is not educated individuals who are the only problems in our democracy. Part of the problem is that the educated class itself has been splintered in a way that it cannot converse. We understand holding forth on issues that we care about as a source of offense. All of us go to public events only to hear what we already know and what we already believe, and are not willing to be persuaded by evidence and argument. The one public space where evidence and argument, or even the ability to civilly agree to disagree, should be a university. And the respect for the possibility that we do not fully understand what makes something work. The political culture we live in today is completely broken. And it is inversely, in a way, the result of a prediction we would have made that it would be otherwise. More people are out there who've gone to university and college than ever before, and yet the political conversation is least productive. It was better off when the opportunity to go to school was not as widespread. That's ironic. Shouldn't be that way. So the notion that ideas matter, that things that are irrelevant, impractical, useless, are to be prized. Scholarship about little details of things that have no value will not help cure cancer, will not unlock the functioning of a cell, but will actually understand just beauty for its own wonderment. The real love of scholarship that is only to understand what yet is not known, not in order to get something done. The overwhelming pressure of professional schools, business, law, and medicine to crush the tradition of inquiry and research for its own sake. Not for its own sake, for the enjoyment of the recognition of the human imagination. For that reason, I'm delighted to see that the university, much more than in my day, has taken a step forward in the arts. Because if there's anything that is great because it's useless, it is the arts. Except for those who trade and buy contemporary and historic painting as a form of investment, but I set those to the side. I'm in the performing arts, which is completely thrown out money. I am proud that an orchestral concert by the Chicago Symphony costs $300,000 just for an evening's entertainment, because it permits Chicago to have musicians who live next door with a living wage, who practice their life and contribute with their children and as neighbors into a world where not everybody is only interested in one thing, and that is money. We fundraise off the rich. We actually admire the rich. We want every one of these alumni to have a hedge fund, make money as quickly as possible, and give it all to the University of Chicago. They don't even have to do anything productive. They don't have to make anything. They don't have to employ anything. It's nice if they do something green. That would be nice. They don't pollute the environment. Yes, we want them to be successful. But we want them to be like John D. Rockefeller, whose inscription in this chapel makes the point about this being the tallest building because religion should dominate the university complex. As a committed agnostic, I'm not so concerned about religion, but I am concerned about the issues that religion claims to talk about, which is the meaning of life, the value of life, the confrontation with our mortality, with the recognition that our time on this earth is limited, and what is our obligation? And our obligation is actually to remind every person of his or her sanctity. If modern biology has taught us anything, it is that we are, each and every one of us, is unique. And that uniqueness deserves an ethical, political recognition. The arts, curious enough, provide that kind of recognition. We are not all equal in what we can actually do, even given the opportunity. But the university needs to stand for the traditions of research and teaching and scholarship. It needs not to do what other universities do, to have inexperienced graduate students teach undergraduates. I did not benefit from this university because I had a second-rate graduate student teaching me. I benefit from this university because great scholars took the time to teach. And there's no reason that that is not something we can continue with undergraduates in this university. Colleges do it, but we're not universities. We don't actually recruit the same, by and large, level of research capacity, particularly in the sciences. So the emphasis on a curriculum and on an experience that makes ideas significant, that does not force those ideas into discrete silos that are defined by a graduate profession. So whether it's sociology or social work, one may be practical, or in President Zimmer's field in mathematics, whether it's theoretical mathematics or applied mathematics or engineering, those things go together. Problem solving and intellectual inquiry go together. No idea is irrelevant, whether it's Plato or Aristotle or a contemporary philosopher. I think the University of Chicago should take pride in the sense that it was different. When I came here, I was struck in that third level of memory by this was a university that was truly American. As a European Jewish immigrant, I came to Chicago and I lost my New York provincialism. I didn't understand the second city. I didn't know what the joke was. As far as I'm concerned, there was nothing more provincial than Manhattan, where, thank God, I didn't live. We came off the boat to the Bronx. The idea of the conceit of New York, which I actually drank that particular Kool-Aid until I landed here. And I actually, like that New Yorker cartoon, discovered that America's a much bigger place. And that the real America may actually be the Midwest, not New York. That this was built by proud, arrogant men who made money in an old-fashioned industrial expansion. This university is, I'm off on Monday for a 3-week tour of China, conducting China, my first trip. And I think what I'm going to see in all that building in China is what made the university, from the Columbia Exposition to all the buildings here, all the rich industrialists who put their money, like John D. Rockefeller, they made the money, but they realized money was not the important thing. When they went in front of God, it wasn't how large their checkbook was. In my religious tradition, we're told that you cannot be buried with your money. So there's no reason not to do something constructive with it. They understood when John D. Rockefeller gave all that money to William Rainey Harper, he understood he was giving money to a person who was superior to himself, not inferior. Think about how we treat our priests, pastors, and rabbis today. The people we really honor. We sit and listen to hedge fund owners tell us how inner city schools should be fixed. It's an unthinkable arrogance and entirely misplaced. I admire the mayor of the city of New York. I admire him, and I'm grateful for the opportunity he gave us to build 2 public high schools in New York, which are early colleges in sort of the Hutchins style, but done better than he did. But what's interesting is that I don't agree with him that just because he was a successful businessman means that he can actually govern properly. They're 2 different enterprises. The marketplace is not the only criterion of value. So the university here has an opportunity, because when I came here, I also discovered not only was this a university of an arrogant, confident America, we now face with a non-arrogant, non-confident America. These buildings remind us of the generosity, gratitude, and growth that we now see in China. I'm not worried about the Chinese, I'm worried about ourselves. And what's great about what's happening now is you see new buildings going up, a revival of that. I imagined actually that who were the people who built? What was their optimism? What was their aspiration? This seemed to me the truly American university, unlike all those Anglophilic Ivy League colleges in the East. Furthermore, for some odd reason, it developed its own intellectual tradition. Partly that's Hutchins, but not only Hutchins. It was in sociology, it had its own distinct tradition. In philosophy, its own distinct traditions. It has in all fields, in economics as well. So the university has a long tradition and capacity to make itself different, not to normalize itself, not to imitate either the institutions on the East Coast or the West Coast. I'm pleased to say that I think the university has that in its proverbial DNA. That independence, the real focus on the intellectual experience. This was a very enjoyable place to be a student. But I did not miss that there were no sports really to speak of. I did not miss that most of us had nothing to do with fraternities. I did not miss that this was about creating a myth that you see at Princeton, and at Yale, and at Harvard, that just going here was a foundation of your life that would make it the best years of your life and something you could arrogantly carry around for the rest of your life with. This was an institution that actually prepared me for life, for raising the stakes of ambition, for giving me the courage to take risks, to make mistakes and survive them, to really value real research, real learning. In this day and age of the internet, the real love of detail is really something that may, in fact, be at risk. Finally, the big change that I would hope the university embraces is to bridge the gap which has never been fully bridged in any major university, and that's between the sciences and the humanities and the arts. We unfortunately today graduate so many of our undergraduates with a very good general education. We hear about Plato, and all Chicago grads talk about all the great books and so forth and so on, but they were scientifically illiterate and mathematically illiterate. And how do we solve the problem of getting all those young undergraduates who may not have graduated in a quantitative field to really understand what is science, what science can do, and what it might be able not to do? We face in our democracy more and more issues whose resolution will depend on being able to have an intelligent conversation about things that have an evidentiary and a reasoning and a probabilistic and a statistical base. And if we can't understand them, we can live in the fiction that we now live in of political ideologies and not actually address the issues that face us in a constructive and collective way. So I would hope in its focus on general education, which this university has pioneered along with Columbia, it would retain the ambition to innovate and to expand, to go against the grain, and to continue to be a real beacon for research and teaching, particularly giving young undergraduates a sense that they can do something to give them more respect and confidence than they deserve in order to inspire them to live a life that has genuine meaning and that ultimately redeems the unfortunate but inevitable fact of our own mortality. I'm deeply grateful to the University of Chicago. It changed my life, and I am forever grateful for that fact. Thank you very much.
I'm Michael Peters, and along with all of the Alumni Board of Governors, would like to thank you and our award winners and medalists for this special occasion. I invite you to continue the celebration at the University Picnic at Ratner Athletic Center and encourage you to take part in the many activities on campus this afternoon as part of the Alumni Weekend festivities. I hope you share the stories of the remarkable honorees that you have heard here today. These individuals share the foundation of pursuing transformative ideas with rigor and intense inquiry. They embody the spirit of our motto, let knowledge grow from more to more, and so be human life enriched. On behalf of the Alumni Association, thank you and congratulations once again to our 2012 Alumni Award recipients and student medalists.